Let me try to break this thing down to you in a nutshell. All right. When you look at these things called Coney 2012 and all this genocide that's going on worldwide, I think the problem is this. Matter of fact, I know the problem is this. You see, this Bible right here, the scriptures right here, this is the greatest history book, as well as the Word of Yah, that has ever been given to mankind. And it's utterly remarkable and amazing to sit and see and to sit and watch the prophecies of this book continually be fulfilled. The problem that we have is that you got a Gentile mindset in this world. You got people who want to continue to keep talking about issues and complaining and bellyaching about issues that are going on in this world today, but they want to ignore God. They want to ignore and act like that he has no influence, he has no hand in it. And then if God has no influence and no hand in it, then that Satan doesn't have any influence and no hand in it. And when you're watching these European nations go off into the land of Ham, and they are invading it, as well as all of these descendants of Japhet, whether they be Europeans or Chinese, it makes no difference. When you watch all of these nations, this is about gobbling up resources. This is about what this thing told us about, empire building. This is about one nation conquering another nation. But see, today, since people are just totally ignorant of the Bible, totally ignorant of the prophets. I mean, after all, the largest satanic religion in the world is Christianity, and you definitely not going to know anything about the prophets. If you learn anything about them, it'll be the little stories told to you in a fairy tale form. But you're not being preached, and you're not being taught right, as opposed to what this Bible says in your institutions. And if you do get taught right, you know it's the first thing that happens? There's something that grips your heart and jacks you up. You know what that's designed for? Because you have had so many lies perpetuated upon your mind that when the truth comes, you know, automatically the system has put certain key words in there. It's called mind control. That bam, when you hear them, automatic rejection, automatic shutdown comes, and you cannot exercise self-autonomy. You can't do it. Impossible. You can't do it. So we have the same cognitive dissonance today that this particular mindset of this country has perpetuated and promoted upon the masses of the people. Now, Pastor Dowell is not going to acquiesce to any of this mess, any of this garbage. That's why I keep telling you, you know, you can continue to keep listening to the news media, listen to all these other resources, everybody bellyaching of what's going on. But when you see this thing for the way that that Bible says is what's happening and what's going on today, it becomes crystal clear what's coming next, what's going to be next. And because when you don't know what it says, you have no means to prepare. You don't have a way to prepare. Because you know why? There's something in your heart. And I'm going to tell you the truth whether you like it or not. The truth is, the reason why they hated the Messiah is because his words brought conviction, which you, hey, by the time them words get to you, you translate it as condemnation. And then you put up a barrier and you put up a wall. Nobody gets in, nobody gets out. And then to you, that's your protection. But it's your protection from the truth. It's your protection from conversion. It's your protection from change. That's what's really truly going on. But since you're not taught that, anytime somebody says anything that has to do with telling you how wrong you are and how messed up you are, the first thing you do is you default to the mindset of the flesh or the things you've always believed. And that's not going to help you. That's not going to help you one bit. Because, hey, what's the purest definition of insanity? You do the same things that you have always done and expect change. You are insane. You are literally out of your mind. That's the reason why people cannot connect the dots today. Because everybody is trying to see this world as if there's no influence of Satan. There's no influence of Yah in it whatsoever at all. and you're all wrong. No matter how much that you try to ignore and avoid this, and the only reason why you do it is because you don't want your wicked heart to be convicted, because your wicked heart translate conviction as condemnation. And since it translates conviction as condemnation, you're not about to have the creator of the universe who, hey, he's already done had people. Look how he's been done throughout angles of time. Look how he's done. Very few people have ever loved him. I mean, from the very beginning, Adam and Eve bitten of the fruit of lies. And many of us today, that is a practice in our lives. That is a literal practice in our lives, is biting of the fruit of lies. And that's the reason why real true preachers are hated today, because they're going to get in your face, tell you just like Jeremiah, tell you just like Isaiah, tell you just like Ezekiel, tell you just like all the holy prophets. And we ain't going to have it today. So when the world is destroyed and there's only a few that's going to be saved, just like it was in the days of Noah, hey, guess what? When the fire starts coming down, like the rain came down then, it's going to be entirely too late for you to get in the ark. Hey, I can't help it. It's your decision. Because that Bible says, if any man be ignorant, you've got a right to be ignorant. As a matter of fact, it even says, let him or allow them to be ignorant. That's the reason why you don't see Pastor Dowell arguing with ignorant folks. That is your right. That is your prerogative. I mean, you got one life to live, and you better hope that in this life, because this life is just temporary, you can go past the graveyards and see we're not going to stay here. And people have been dying for a long time. But the next life, it is eternal. So some people, they choose to take the Sadducee approach, meaning that this is all there is to it. Well, guess what? We're all going to see. We're all going to test that boast, whether we like it or not. It ain't nobody is going to escape death. Houdini thought he could do it. Anybody seen his ass lately? I hadn't seen one thing about him, and they ain't going to either. You know why? You know why? Because he is not the Messiah. He is not the creator of the universe. But when you look at all this evil that is going on in this world today, perpetuated and promoted by the European nations. Look at all the murdering and robbing and killing. Hey, they're going after this fictitious being now. I call him a fictitious being. He may be a real man, but hadn't heard a word from him in 5 years. And they call him a warlord. If he's a warlord and he's committing all of these atrocities and genocide, then what is the United States of America? What is the European Union doing when you get civilians killed in war and it's only called collateral damage? We're going to do an investigation. How much investigation do you need with somebody getting killed? I mean, it's amazing. They have so twisted and distorted this mindset. One thing I am sure of is that this bizarre behavior is deeply and collectively and socially embedded in the collective subconscious of man's mind. And even God himself can't remove that wicked spirit of unbelief out of your hearts. So guess what? Nothing new. Men gonna perish. The majority of the people perish. Anytime you see what the majority believes, common sense. We can't call it common sense because sense is so uncommon today. But common sense says go the direct opposite, because the majority has never been right. And that is the truth. And that is the truth straightway. Ignore the prophecies, but you do it to your own apparel. That's the reason why you can't prepare your house. The reason why you can't prepare your life. Because you're ignoring this. You look at all these bankers. You know they got to be of Satan. You look at these world governments. You know that Satan is controlling them. Illuminati, Bilderbergers, the Masons, the Council on Foreign Relations, Trilateral Commission, and the list goes on and on and on and on and on. And yet and still, you look at all this wickedness, people going out into the redwoods, running around banging each other, and then turn around worshiping owls and doing sacrifices. And where does this come from? Where did all this come? I mean, it's already, it'd be one thing if that Bible never did call it. But there's no other way to look at it when this book has called this thing 5,000 years, 6,000 years ago, before it even starts really truly happening, and now it's happening. And it's been happening for quite some time. No, you ignore the truth to your own apparel. And you deserve exactly what you get. So, hey, I don't get upset. So what if some don't believe? Does that make my faith void? No. As a matter of fact, it establishes my faith even more so. You know the reason why? Because the Most High said that you unbelievers would be here. And that lets me know, since he already called the end from the beginning, that, hey, you was going to be here. It was going to happen, and that establishes my faith and way I believe and what I do, even the more so in the supreme king of the universe. And guess what? When it's all said and done, we Israelites, we win.